Listen to me, Josh. I'm going to tell you something that's going to change your life. Get a girlfriend.
Right, keep speaking.
My name is Ben, and today I've got a wee bit of a episode because Josh is the heavy lifter and I'm just the guy that kind of like sits there and goes,
Don't touch
"Woo!"
it. Don't touch it.
I didn't touch it.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not touching it. I didn't touch it. I was doing that.
I can hear it. What are you trying to fill?
What are you trying to fill?
I'm not a human. I'm a thing.
Whom are you trying?
Whom are you
That's a
trying to
quote.
fool?
I'm not a human. I'm a thing," said the materialist.
Oh, if I even like. Yeah, you can hear that.
Yeah, there's good acoustics in my room. Right. Hello. Welcome
Good
to
acoustics.
welcome to another.
In the grind. Yeah.
welcome to
don't
another-
stump the grind.
Don't-
Don't. I'll kill you.
Shut up. Let me do my episode.
Don't move.
I'm not
Right,
moving.
3, 2. Wait, hang on. Go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to ATT. It's gonna be a me episode now, a Ben episode, because Josh is the heavy lifter and I'm just sort of the guy that sits in the back and goes, yeah, no, wow, you know. But
Wow.
today I decided that I should do a little bit of studying myself, and but for you that know me, I waffle a lot and I just sort of go all over the place. But
I'll try and keep him on the straight and narrow.
good man. Right, so basically, I'm just gonna read. Probably, I'm gonna open this with again reading from the Bible. Some of you will be like, "Oh," but you know it's my favorite book, and it's also our podcast, so we don't really care what you think. So, I'm just gonna read from Romans 12 here, and just to give you a little bit of a heads up: a living sacrifice, gifts of grace, and the marks of the true Christian.
So Ben, what's the goal for this episode?
The goal of this episode is to give people a general idea on how to make the world a better place, how to fix society in its loosest sense.
So I'm gonna be working overtime to make sure he doesn't mess up.
You
I don't know what he's gonna say.
Yeah, so what do you mean? Right. Right, so Romans 12:1 to the end. I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. Do not be conformed of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. For by the grace given to me, I say to everyone among you not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think with sober judgment, which according to the measure of faith that God has assigned. For as in one body we have many members, and the members do not all have the same function. So we, though many, are one body in Christ, and individually members one of another. Having gifts that differ according to the grace given to us, let us use them. If prophecy in proportion to our faith, if service in our serving, the one who teaches in his teaching, the one who exhorts in his exhortation, the one who contributes in generosity, and the one who leads with zeal, the one who does acts of mercy with cheerfulness. Excuse me. Let love be genuine, abhor what is evil, hold fast to what is good. And that's the main verse I want us to focus on today. But love one another with brotherly affection, outdo one another in showing honor, do not be slothful in zeal, be fervent in spirit, serve the Lord. Rejoice in hope, be patient in tribulation, be constant in prayer, contribute to the needs of the saints, and seek to show hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse them. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Weep with those who weep. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be haughty, but associate with the lowly. Never be wise in your own sight. Repay no one for evil, but give thought to do what is honorable in the sight of all. If possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. To the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink, for by doing so you will heap burning coals on his head. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Now, this passage, and I'm just going to look at this next. So this passage is probably top 3 in the entire Bible for me. I absolutely love it. It's glorious. I'm just going to read that main verse again. Let love be genuine, abhor what is evil, hold fast to what is good. Is there anything wrong with what that is said? Do you think, like, would anyone disagree with that?
Probably.
Give me an example of someone disagreeing with let love be genuine, abhor what is evil, hold fast to what is good.
They'll probably get annoyed at the speaker for saying like,
At Ben.
"Oh, Ben." Do the passage again.
Let love be genuine. If I wasn't even reading for the Bible and I just said let love be genuine, hate what is evil, hold fast to what is good. I don't think
there is a reason.
Yeah,
objection,
I don't think
I'm saying I'm sure there's some guy
yeah,
out there.
but don't think too hard about it. Literally, no one's gonna be like, no, I'm gonna love what is evil. Everybody knows evil is evil. Nobody's really on the side of evil. Nobody wants to be on the side of evil. No rational person anyway. Anyway, so why have I decided to try and bring together a bit of notes, a bit of collection to try and fix said society? Well, what is a society? A society is a collection of people living together, blah, 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 that kind of aspect, right? In fact, if I were to get you the definition of society, so I'm just going to type up, what is the definition of... Why is this not working?
The opposite of barbarianism.
Society.
A collection of group of people you hold to a single
the aggregate of
values.
people living together in a more or less ordered community, pretty much. An organization or club formed for a particular purpose or activity. So the aggregate of people living together in a more or less ordered community. That's ordered, not chaotic, right? Now, it got me thinking, right? The perfect society is a society where everybody is just one big happy family. The idea that people are looking at each other with brotherly compassion.
Yeah.
You know, people are helping each other off the streets. It's pretty much a lovely utopia. Uck, you want to help with the shop in there? Uck, here, I'll park your car in there. It's a tight space. Uck, you know, I'll come over, help you clean the windows. You know, that's like, you know, that's a happy little village it makes me think of, you know, where everyone's just, you know, lovely and jubbly and all of that. Well, the Bible, right? I think the main thing that stands out in the Bible is family values. You know, it starts with the family, pretty much. You know, God as the father and his children. And then the whole Bible is pretty much us being Christians being told that they are the children of God. God being our father, our savior, you know, that kind of
brothers and sisters in Christ.
Brothers and sisters. There's just families everywhere in the Bible. Because life starts off in a family, you know. We all have families, good or bad. I can't judge, you know. My family is pretty bonkers, like. I'm one of 7 kids, you know, and we're all insane. Anyway, what then would a society look like if we adopted the values of what we adopt in a family? Would it be good or bad?
Well, that's essentially the idea of communism. Because you think about you're like, oh crap, I've created communism.
No, I hate communism so much.
You think about the idea of communism, community, right? It's just a big family is the idea anyway. But this thing is, you can't. I don't know where you're going with this, so
yeah, just give it your best shot.
I'll give. Depends what way you're. If you cannot.
Right. So
let me speak for a second. The
yeah.
problem with communism or having institutionalized so-called family values, like, all right, well, we'll help each other, blah blah blah. But if that's written into the actual written law, or if that's commanded from someone who's unwilling, that is much worse.
Yeah, the Bible does not teach us how to rebuild a perfect society. The Bible tells us to adapt to any kind of society. Communism, right, is it sounds great. Oh, everyone's equal, but it's just not. It's responsible for a lot of deaths, and normal people are responsible for looking like psychopaths and stuff like that. So, but the thing I said though was the main thing, that there's a hierarchy. There's fathers, sisters, brothers, mothers, blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, all equal in their own way, but well, actually, parents are the leaders of the home.
There's
Now,
an authority.
there's an authority, exactly. Now, the overarching authority of the Bible is obviously God, and the people that then do things in the Bible, the heroes of the Bible, so Moses, Joshua, David, Jesus, Paul.
You can list every
Those kinds, the heroes of the Bible, the well-known heroes of the Bible, are sort of like they're there for a reason, for us obviously to learn from them. To give you a brief example, David, right? He was described as a man after God's own heart, yet he did two very evil things. He pretty much sentenced a man to his death after sleeping with his wife so that he wouldn't find out.
Yeah.
And had a baby from it. You know, so he was in a bit of a, and he was also like the most powerful man at the time in that area.
Yep.
You know, so what am I getting at with this kind of societal kind of thing? Well, the Bible teaches us to be humble, teaches us humility, teaches us to, as I said, hate evil and always pursue goodness. Right? Right. Can you describe to me, Josh, what do you think describe somebody who is always pursuing the good, the right, good stuff?
Someone who is always pursuing the good. Someone who, when they see another person, they don't objectify them. They don't see what they represent in lower things. They see the highest. So an idea would be, try and live like when everyone sees you, they see Jesus, and when you see everyone else, try and see Jesus in them.
Right, there you go. That's like, see, to ask you that because you would just immediately say it better than me. But so there's this. Then I said in this previous episode, there's three kinds of good people. There's those who fight for goodness, those who help the fighters, those who do nothing. And I explained this last time, those who do nothing, it's like, oh well, they're not good. Well, they are good. You know, people are generally good people. You know, they all have families, they all got responsibilities, they're all doing the best they can. The thing that separates people who do nothing than the other two is courage. And courage, I think, is not the biggest, but probably a good third biggest attribute in the entirety of the Bible. Josh is full of, look, Josh, be not afraid. I've commanded you, I'm with you.
Okay, but thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks, no problem. Oh, wait, no, I meant Josh in the Bible.
You don't mean me? You're not with me?
I'm with you, Josh.
Oh.
You know, this idea, there's
Thanks, man.
this fear that's always conquered when you're on the side of God. And it's not even when you're on the side of God in the first place. It's when God comes to you and you're like, oh, wait, now I'm on the side of God. So there's that kind of overarching control there.
When you say the good people who you described as the people who do nothing, out of the people who do stuff, people who help the stuff to do stuff, and the people who do nothing, do you mean just people who are living their lives as just normal people? They're not necessarily going out.
Think of it
as
like
missionaries to other foreign.
The
lands.
Bible.
Is that what you mean?
The Bible gives us a good example, but I'll say my example first. So you've got a guy begging for money, right? And the first example, the guy who fights, say he's fighting homelessness, is the guy who is setting up these shelters, who's pretty much like making people come into his home so that they have a place to warm. Make it like, come, don't sleep outside in the rain.
I command you, homeless
have
people,
my bed.
No more be homeless.
Do not be homeless no more. Have my home. That kind of guy. This
But
selfless.
I'm not homeless. Get in my house.
This selfless man. All right, that's the first example of a man who's fighting the evil of, well, not even the evil, but you know, it's not very nice, is it, homelessness?
Yes.
The second one is the person helping him. So it could be the guy's family or fundraisers or are supporting the guy's cause, right?
Giving him some food or whatever.
Yeah. Now, do you think the people who pass by homeless people and not give them any money or any food are bad people?
I'm not gonna make any moral judgments.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
anyone.
Like if there's a million people walking by a homeless guy every day, not all. It would be good if a million of them all put in a couple quid, but none of them are going to do. But I wouldn't necessarily say any of them would be evil. Of course, in a million people, there's a lot of evil people, but like in a great sum total of people, I would not say that the grand majority. Because my first reaction to people is, you're not a bad person. I tend to see the good in people, like you said. See Christ see we're all made in the image of God. See that before you see anything else, I guess.
Well, you want the Bible teaches for no one to don't condemn others within yourself. Do not
Yeah, exactly.
don't make any moral judgment within yourself. However, obviously the Bible has a set of has a moral structure and guidance. I'm not saying like there aren't bad people or there aren't good people. I'm just saying that it's probably it's immoral for you to actually outright say someone's a bad person or maybe even say they're a good person.
Yeah, so it takes courage, is what I'm trying to get at. That differentiates between the people who fight and the people who don't. It's nothing to do with whether how good or bad they are.
Well, if you're talking about you want to speak,
Yeah,
right, go on.
good man. Courage is the one ingredient that it's the rarest ingredient, I think, in people these days, in which people will stand up and essentially try their very hardest to achieve something that they fully and wholeheartedly believe is right. But then there's also that kind of aspect to people where people are going to follow anybody who has a loud voice and a large social media platform. And no matter what they say, like we live in a society now, I think I've told you this before, if Ariana Grande tweets, I hate so-and-so, all 7 million of her fans are going to also hate that person for absolutely no reason other than Ariana Grande said or so. So automatically society, to me, that's a big problem, in my head anyway. So it takes courage then to obviously differentiate between being a follower, being a sort of sheep, and I'm going back to this sort of sheepdog analogy where we live in a field, as we said, the farmer's field, and you have the sheep and you have the wolves, and we talked about that last time.
Yeah.
So it is courage ultimately that makes sheepdogs. The courage is what separates the sheepdogs to the sheep. Sheep are not courageous at all.
Right.
The only time a sheep would be courageous would be a mother maybe protecting its lamb, but even then, I've never heard of a sheep try and murder a farmer. It's the wolves. It's the wolves that do the killing and the
Well, a
murdering.
bit of headbutting if.
Oh wow, headbutt. Oh man, got a bit of bruise on my leg there from a wee sheep, but I'm all right. It's not gonna snap your leg off, is what I'm trying to say. All right, that's what the wolves do, and I think in order to heal a society where people are so, first of all, there's not enough courage, but also when people are so confused about what's good and what's evil. We all have it. We all know murder's evil. Like it's pretty easy to understand. So therefore, automatically, we all have something that connects us all. Yeah, people may say it's okay to murder some kind of people. Those are just different people. We're following different faiths, following different backgrounds, attributes, but we all generally have a same moral value. So if we all have a same moral value, why can't we, encompass that and actually create something new? Now, what is it that I mean by new? We're already living in a society where obviously murder is very much bad. We already live in a society that has been built off, the Western society anyway, has been built off the construct of the gospel, of the Bible. So why do a lot of Christians who I've talked to, a lot of atheists who I've talked to, see a decline in society? I looked up actually earlier in preparation for this how to fix society. And you get a bunch of liberal crap coming up. It's like all about climate change. It's all about getting people out of power, getting new economy, getting a world, like sort of a worldwide sort of image where everyone can just be anything they want to be.
Right.
And I'm just like, where's the courage though? Where's the standard in which wolves can become sheepdogs? Because I believe the Christian worldview is the only worldview in which a wolf can be tamed into a sheepdog. in which there's a forgiveness, but then also a sort of willingness to give oneself up and be given to the farmer, to God. So what am I getting at here when I'm sort of piecing this all together to try and fix society? It's be courageous. You know, be the person that can stand up in the middle of a bus and stop whatever's going on there. We got piles of superhero movies nowadays with too much, in my opinion, and it's just the same thing over and over again. There's an evil that rises up, and only the person with the superhuman quality can save the day. Courage is that superhuman quality, in which is very, very achievable and can be trained up with. It's very, very hard, I believe, to conquer what you're afraid of.
Is the courage you're talking about? Would that just be the courage to, you know what, I'm gonna try my best to, despite the circumstances, I'm gonna try my best.
Courage in every sense of the word, Josh. In every aspect, be courageous. If there's something that you feel is not quite right, and yet you hide it away, like I have this about me, right? If I see something that's not quite right, I have to do something about it. I have to.
Right.
Like, and I just, and if I don't, it like haunts me for the rest of the week. I'm like, why didn't I do anything? In fact, it's so bad. The other day at work, right, we were all sitting in the car, and there was a guy on a bike, and he ran right, he cycled right past us, threw his bike away, and jumped over sort of the construction site fence, right, and sprinted away. And we were just hearing sirens everywhere. And then he was a bit confused in the construction site. He was like, all right, where am I going to go? So he sort of just hid around the corner of a building. And then a bunch of policemen came over, and they were like, oh, where is he? And we were like, oh, flip, he's running from the police there. And then the police went away, and then he came back around the corner, and I just wanted to jump over that fence and chase after this guy and tackle him to the ground. I was just like, ugh. And I do believe a lot of guys have that kind of attribute. You know, they make up these scenarios. Were you ever, Josh, tell me honestly, right? Were you ever like sitting an exam, right, in school, and you're done before everyone? You've got like half an hour left, or 2 minutes, and you just sit and you just imagine things. Like you just sit there like, well, what would happen if like got in a fight later, and I was like, oh, it's just so cool, and I beat him up and stuff, and I saved an old lady at the same time. You just fantasize about being a hero, and I think a lot of guys do that a lot.
Yeah, sure.
You know, so when that guy I saw run from the police was running away and was jumping over walls and stuff, I was just like, I could do that a lot faster than him. I'm a lot faster than him. I'm taller, and he's a skinny guy. Like, I could take him. I could help the police out here. But then I didn't. And I'm not saying that that's bad, because like obviously we're just going to go, hey, he's running for the police, you know. But examples like that only on like a higher level. Like you see, just I saw the other day a girl just screaming at her wee dog, her wee puppy, like viciously screaming.
Right.
And I just wanted to take the puppy away because it just didn't deserve that at all. It just wanted to do a wee. It's just like, what are you doing, you stupid dog? We have to get home right now. It's just yanking the lead and stuff. And I was just like, that's not on. So why am I telling you these weird stories?
I have no idea.
Because courage, Josh. Because courage is the thing that makes us think of those things first and then act upon them. If you see bad things, and that is what heals a society. When people are courageous, when people are able, when a good amount of people are able to stand up to what they believe is wrong. Look at the voiceless NI. Me and you went on a lot of those marches, the silent marches for abortion, because you know me and you hate abortion. Like, so that's what me and you did, and it wouldn't be courageous. You know, like, you know, people who are courageous, right, go when they stand up for something that they believe is right. All right, it takes more courage to stand alone, but then when more people join you, that courage turns into hope. And I think that's the key thing with Christians when we stand alone. And the Bible teaches we're never alone, but when we stand alone, it takes courage to stand alone. But that loneliness turns into hope when more people see you standing alone. When more people look at that person and go, hang on a second, that person, and I'm just going to read it again. That person, their love is genuine. They abhor, they hate evil, and they hold fast to what is good. When somebody describes you as that, you literally feel ecstatic. You literally feel, oh my goodness, like I didn't think that before. Somebody's told me that I'm actually doing a good job here. I'm actually being a decent person. In fact, I'm being more than just a decent person. I'm forwarding something that is important, something that can save a lot of people. That's courage. That's courage. And as soon as people start to understand that courage is rewarding rather than, just keeping it inside, keeping it to our little fantasies, real change can happen within their lives. Extreme change. Like, even in schools, right? If you're listening to this and you're still in school, for example, like, yeah, how great is it to just be the man of the class? Like, what I mean by that is just like, you're laughing away, but like, you ever have one of those moments where you're just like, I'm actually gonna. I remember in English, right? We were all just slagging off just
Right.
America and Donald
Okay.
Trump, and they were just
Right.
making these stuff up just to. And I actually stood up and I just went, right.
Yep.
Is this an English class or is this a flipping political agenda, man? You just feel great because then everyone was just like, oh, you know? But like, it's those kinds of situations that bring forth change, and those kinds of situations which I'm calling on people to actually, stand up and be courageous. Hate evil, be genuine. Your love is be genuine, and do what is good, because real courage comes from love. I think that's what I'm just going to close with. Real courage comes from love. When you have a genuine love for people, when you have a genuine love for doing what is right, and if that love is genuine and doing what's right, you want to make sure that whatever you want to follow is the right thing. A lot of people, when they get told something is right, they'll go along with it. Like, if you are truly genuine in your love, you will literally get everything you need to win a battle in which is mental, and which is this really right? And if it is, then you will be even more prepared for it. And if it's not, you'll understand that this is not actually something that needs to happen. This is actually something that I must stand against. And even then, it's that courage, that kind of choice. A lot of people these days feel like they can't say, oh, I stand against that, or, oh, I don't really want to, I'm just going to stay quiet about it. All right, be courageous, because that inspires people around you.
Well, yeah, I get what you're saying. An episode prior, I talked about, I think Aristotle. He followed his daemon. Just follow your daemon, which is be your guiding spirit. Follow your conscience. Um, yeah, if you do something that's just against your conscience, then you're in a bendy road. You need to be careful. Um, you can't just. I'm not saying point a finger at you, but I'm just making a point. You need to be careful, not just like point fingers and be like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is why it's wrong, blah blah blah. Even if it's true, you need to, because you need to embody that. You need to embody the change, because
Yeah, as I said, courage is hopeless without love.
yeah.
You
I
know,
even think of
evil people are courageous. All right, yeah, the most evil people are cowards. Like, cowards are the kinds of people that shut up schools. Cowards are the people who are bullies, essentially, who can easily dominate people who can't protect themselves. Courageous people are the people that protect the people who will not protect themselves, and then therefore inspire the people who need protecting to then do the protecting. It's that kind of chain reaction, and it's what you see through the Bible. God does the protecting, God does the commanding. God is like our officer, our conqueror, our commanding, our superior. And through all the stories in the Bible, great things are done. Seas are parted, bread comes from heaven. The crippled is healed, all on account of love. Now, I'm not trying to say like, oh, Jesus was so courageous in doing what he was doing. Man knew exactly what he was doing because he had the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit is what gave him the power to go to do what he did. In Gethsemane, he said, "If it be your will, take this cup from me." And he was sweating blood, like it was a lot of strain, a lot of stress on him. what he said, by your will be done and not by my own. That is the ultimate stance of bravery and courage, is to live by God's will and not by your own. That's why the Bible does not have a book in it that says how to rebuild a society, but rather how to just live in any kind of society. There's Christians being persecuted all over the world, and they're all reading the same book. So the Bible is the only book that has that fluid adaptability that can command people to go to their deaths freely, like back in Roman times when the starters of the entertainment was the weakly Christians being fed to lions and tigers. You know, the Bible is the only book in which that can inspire such martyrdom, I think. Such true martyrdom that has lasted for thousands and thousands of years. That's the pinnacle of courage, what the Bible says. And people are going to be like, well, Ben, show us the evidence of that. Man, just read Romans, read what Paul, read what David did, just read it.
I'll say this. I do agree with you, but we need to put this into, because it's just a lofty idea as is, right? How do we get a good society? Like, what does society even mean? Like
big family.
Yeah, and I mean, even just think of the right in this area here, over the town or a village where we've got, you don't know anyone here, right?
Yeah.
I'm not condemning you for. I'm just saying, put it into in real terms, right? Society, yeah, love each other. But what does that look like? Jordan Peterson he could say, well, think about the things you're doing in your everyday life, right? Say you're just a normal guy, you're a father of whatever, right? You've got a job, and that's maybe you go to church or something, but that's, you say you're just a normal guy, right? You're not out fighting some sort of some political thing. You're not overthrowing some tyranny. You're just living your life, right? Which is a big enough thing to deal with as it is. And you're just thinking, right, if you've got so and so many, say if you're arguing with your son, he's a young son, to go to bed at a certain time, right? Say if it takes like 45 minutes every day, right? If you calculate that out, I've said numbers. Hopefully I don't have to do maths. If you've got like 45 minutes, get a calculator, man.
45 minutes times 7. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, 45 minutes to get your kid to bed every day, right? 7 days a week. What is that? 45 times 7, Ben?
It's 350.
Right, and then times that by 4 for a month, right? And then times that by 12.
15,120.
And then divide that by 60.
250.
And then divide that by 40.
6.3.
6.3 40-hour work weeks.
Yeah, sure, go with that.
Did you do it right?
I did do it right.
No, that's a 40. Whatever. Yeah. No, that's a week of work.
That's a week of work.
Sorry, that's more than just over a week of a 40-hour over a week arguing. Of that, and that's just spent solely arguing with your son. And you think, what's that going to do with your relationship over just a year, man? Right? If you extrapolate that to the future, if you extrapolate that, maybe you're not say you're very abrasive to the people at work, even just slightly, right? How long these are your life, right? Your life isn't the big moments because they're singularities. They barely exist in your time frame, right? But the things you do every day, they are what make up your life, right? This is why I give that example of brushing the teeth in the episode prior, right? If you get to the stage where you've completely you're completely satisfied in the simple act of brushing your teeth, that's all you need in life, right? It's just the small things, man. And then John Peterson would also say, right, get your act together before you change the world. Clean your room. Make sure if your house isn't in order, what makes you think you can change the world for better and not mess up? Because a good man would be hard pressed to make a good country, right? And if you can't even
See,
set your house in order, what hope have you got?
this is exactly what I'm getting at here.
Yes.
The Bible. This is why me and you work together very well, Josh. I just say some random crap and then you like interpret it. Basically, right? The Bible. The reason why it doesn't say go out and change the world, change yourselves first, is because that's small. It starts in the home. Your bullseye analogy, where you've got yourself in the center, and then the smaller circle around that center is your family, your friend, and then the next one's your friends, and the next one's the stranger. All right, you can't just expand yourself to cover the entire target. You need to start small, and that's what courage and love and this idea of the Bible of what changing the world is actually like, because Jesus changed the world already. We're just waiting for him to come back, and we're doing the best we can about it. It starts with, as you say, making your bed, tidying the room, getting little habits in which will benefit you to do the best thing you can in
Yeah, I
the
redid that
future.
calculation. No, it's not. It's 6.8 work weeks.
Yeah.
That's mad.
6.8 working weeks of
Yeah.
arguing with your son. But if you can master that, right? If you can master that, and if you can get obviously a fantastic relationship
It's
with
almost
your
2
son
months.
out of that, right? Then it's all worth it. That's what I'm trying to get at. That work that you put in becomes worth it if you do it correctly, if you do it to the guidance. And what guidance do you say? The guidance that we have, because it's done us a world of good. It's done us more than a world of good. But a lot of people aren't experiencing that guidance. It's our job to be courageous and show that guidance. To not only make people courageous to stand up for what is right, but to be courageous enough to get into little tiny habits that can change the world later. Like there's an inspirational speech called Make Your Bed. It's this naval officer who basically says every morning, make your bed, because it's the one small achievement that you've done that day. And if you make your bed and then leads down here, and it's really, really good. I highly recommend you look it up because it's very motivational. And then there's another one, and that guy says it's this baseball team, but basically the coach of the baseball team, after he found a broom and he cleaned out the lockers every single game, and he didn't need to do that. The janitors needed to do that. It was their job, but he did anyway, and it completely changes everyone's perspective of that kind of person. Be courageous to find your broom. Be courageous to tidy your room. You know what I mean? Because it's those little things that transform your mindset. If applied to the Gospels as well, you can smash creators into any kind of evil that comes your way. Because not only have you got a mindset of a courage, but you've also got the God of goodness, of courage, of the reason why fear cowers, the reason why the fear of fear is God, is goodness, and we've got that on our side. So that's what I'm trying to say. The how to fix society with quotation marks, it starts with you, like just with yourself being better, finding your broom to tidy your room. This is ATT. Thank you for listening.
Very good.
Very good. Thank you very much for listening. Please do get in contact with us. Give us some more topics to do. Really, really, really love it. And
I've got too many topics to do. Right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Like and comment.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.